Another edition of Live Locks presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, just making bad life choices, going over to scoresandodds.com where you got picks from me, Meansy, this piece of crap right here. I got the direction right, yay. And you get access to our nice little prop shopping tool where you can see exactly what we have projected for each individual prop list for the best lines, and most importantly, you get access to Grand Selection Lines. What is it? What's my Discord where I'm throwing in all my picks each and every day so you can get in there before the lines end up moving. And boy, have they been moving today, Daniel. How you doing there, buddy? I'm joined today by Daniel. He's parts unknown, otherwise known as Nashville still, getting his gambling on. How you doing there?
Yeah, what's going on, dude? I to keep it organic, to keep it fresh, I've not taken a peek as far as what your bets are today. So I'm curious what they happen to be. It's probably like some random dude getting a steal, like a plus 150 or something like that. Like I did not put any thought into, but hey, any way you can make money, by all means, go for it. But
I think that you'll actually have some input on most of these bets.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I was thinking of steals, and I was thinking of Warriors because they're facing the Rockets. We know how the Rockets love to give the ball away. I wonder if there's any interesting bets there. But yeah, fun slate tonight. A lot of good basketball here going down. I've been looking at the slate, digging into it last night. I just finished the expert survey for Roto-Grinders. So yeah, I feel good about tonight's slate. There's a lot of good spots that are worth talking about.
All right, well, we're just going to go game by game. Starting off with the first game, we got the Knicks going up against the Wizards. Do you think Beal's going to play?
I don't know. I don't really have a good take on that. I mean, you'd think he had a long break, so maybe, but I don't really have a good take. If he doesn't go, we'll probably see Corey Kispert jump in the starting lineup. A guy like Denny Avdia might get a little bit more bump, but yeah, I don't really have a read on that. Is there actually lines out there that would affect Beal, peripheral pieces, or not just yet?
So I have Kuzma over 21.5 points, minus 115 over at FanDuel, and Porzingis over 23.5 points, minus 110 at Betway.
Okay.
Yeah, to me, those lines are probably where they should be if Beal's playing. If Beal's not playing, then those lines are an absolute smash on the over. So I hit both of those. Those are the Wizard side of the game that I have bets on. And then over on the Knicks side of things, Quentin Grimes, what do you think his points, rebounds, assist line is at?
Grimy. What are his points, rebounds, and assists? Let's see. I won't cheat. Of course, he's taking a big hit as far as his minutes with the addition of Josh Hart. I would say it's somewhere around like 15.
11.5, and I got a plus 105 over at Betfred. You can get minus 101 over at Caesars, but to me, it's more than a 50% chance of happening. So getting a plus odds of Betfred, fantastic bet for me, in my opinion. But who knows? We shall see. You got any bets from this game?
No, I don't really have a lot of takes in this game, to be honest.
All right, we'll move on to the next one. We got Cleveland going up against Atlanta. I got some Trae Young bets. So I took the alt line because I just like the line sitting at 37.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 120, minus 125 most places. I took the 40 plus at plus 120 over at Betfred. He's been crushing recently. 24 points per game this month, around 14 or 13 assists per game, like 4 or 5 rebounds. And you look at the last 5 games, it's been even more. I know there's a slow-paced matchup. I know that Cavs are a good defense, but a little bit worse on the outside. He's going to be driving to the hoop a lot. I just think this line's a bit too low.
Yeah, I like a good alt line, for sure. I'm game for those. I have a couple we'll talk about later on in the show, I think. But yeah, I've not considered that, to be honest. No John Collins for Atlanta tonight. We should see Sadiq Bey. I assume he's going to jump in the starting lineup for Atlanta. They're going to be really undersized in this game. Is the other thing that's kind of interesting. Just Cleveland so big, and Atlanta, I guess Bey is going to play the 4, which is, I don't think of him as a 4. More, a little more of a wing kind of guy.
He's 6'8", isn't he?
I guess maybe he is a 4. I just have a miscast in my head for some reason.
6'7". So he's still
okay.
Still not a small guy.
Yeah. I just don't like this game as a general thought. I don't know what to do with it. Cleveland the back half, back to back. We saw Joker. Jeez, that guy, I hear I heard he can't be MVP because he's never won a ring. Have you heard that story?
It's just ridiculous to me. I mean, so fun fact, at this current age that Joker is at, how many rings do you think LeBron had? And how many rings do you think Jordan had?
I would say it's no more than one. He's 27, Jokic?
I believe so.
It might be one. It's no more than one.
I believe it's 0. He's 28. I believe both of them won their first championship at the age of 28.
Okay, so LeBron didn't get one until like 9 years in? Okay.
I don't think so. On James' first championship was 2012. He was with the Heat. 2012, he would have been.
Yeah, that's like year 9 for him.
He was 28.
Year 10? Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, it was year 9. So, to me, it's ridiculous, especially considering like Jokic has had no one around him for years. Like the bubble's the only one where you can make the argument like, yeah, he could have won a championship there, but last 2 years, nothing. And now he has guys around him, and lo and behold, they have the second best record in the league.
Yeah, he's got guys around him. The problem is a lot of it also like that nobody really talks about historically as far as the context is like, who do you have to beat? It's not just like being number one, but who do you got to overcome? And it's like, that's why, LeBron taking down that Golden State team is like one of the greatest triumphs in basketball history. But even like getting 2 games off of him and losing in 6 when it was just him and like, I don't even know, like who was like the second best player? Matthew
Anderson Varejao.
Yeah, it was a horrendous team. And they won 2 games off of it. I didn't mean to derail the show. I apologize. But
yeah. Well, back to the gambling. You mentioned the lack of size there for Atlanta. You know who's going off?
You like Mobley?
I like Mobley. Over 17.5 points, minus 115 over at FanDuel. We'll see if that line's moved. To me, it's a bit too low. He's been crushing it recently. We have him projected for 18.59. Line's moved to minus 118. Still like the over. It's 18.5 at some places. I still don't even hate the over that. He's going to put up some numbers going up against Bay.
Yeah, he had a big night last night as well, if you're talking about like recency bias. But so good, Mobley. I would love to see him. We saw it last night where he's starting to add that 3-pointer to his arsenal. When he gets that 3, like legitimately, like a decent clip, dude's going to be so good. Top 5 player potentially in the league.
I would say he could potentially become top 5's close. Like he could become. I mean, he's already one of the best defenders in the league. I guess if he gets a 3-pointer, he could be top 5, top 10.
Yeah, he's still like 21, right? 22.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, he'd be a perfect addition to like so many different teams if he develops a 3-pointer. Like, especially he's perfect on this Cleveland team with Garland and Mitchell. And yeah,
well, he needs to. When you're playing alongside Jared Allen for spacing purposes, both those guys. Like, if one can step out, that's what my team, the Heat. I mean, you wonder why the Heat are struggling this year. Their 2 best players can't hit threes, basically. Jimmy can, but like not super efficient, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he's getting 1 a game max.
Yeah,
most games.
The game's changed. But go ahead. You were saying.
Last bet I have is Trae Young over 2.5 rebounds. I got plus 100. It's not worth it. Moved to minus 120 as soon as I bet it. Next game, your Miami Heat going up against Milwaukee. I assume that Giannis is not going to play. He's doubtful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anything can happen. But as of right now, don't believe Giannis is going to play. Another alt line, I took Brook Lopez over 21.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 117 at Caesars, and Brook Lopez 25-plus points, rebounds, assists at plus 170. No, it's a tough matchup versus Bam. No, it's a slow-paced matchup, but Brolo gets a pretty decent usage bump, and they're going to need a size out there. I think that line's a bit too low, and we currently have them projected for, I think, over 25 in this spot. Last time I checked, so this is a spot where the line's just bad.
Interesting, because I had thoughts on Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. And do you think Chris Middleton will get any more than 25 minutes? I don't think he has to get more than 25 minutes, but you speak of usage bumps. I was just looking at that before the show. When you kick Giannis off the court, the usage for Chris Middleton goes up 9 percentage points, 37.4%, skyrocketing. That's a huge. Now it's 142 minutes, not the biggest sample in the world, but it's a sample we have this season. Holiday up to 31.8%. That's a nice jump as well, and he gets a nice boost as far as.
I mean, even if you look at last season, let's pull up last season because I already got it up.
We can extend it, yeah.
If run query, there we go. Yeah, I mean, last season I assume it's somewhat similar. 33.7%, a 7.4% usage increase. What is his line sitting at? Let's look at
37.4 tonight, and he's played 25 minutes in back-to-back games. He had the big All-Star break and 9 days off, and it's also a national TV game. Some coaches, sometimes you'll see, you get extended commercials for national TV, you get a little extra rest time. Maybe he gets 26, maybe he gets 27 minutes. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but an extra minute or two can mean the difference between winning and losing. And as far as hitting your total or your over, I think Middleton's really interesting. And of course, the absence of Giannis is huge. The matchup is bad, but whatever. That's all sort of baked in.
There's currently no lines out. It doesn't look like.
Okay, when they come out, I'm gonna maybe he starts. I don't know. We'll see. Crowder's expected to play too for Milwaukee, which this would be his debut, I believe. I don't think we've seen him yet. Sitting out all season long with Phoenix demanding a trade. I don't think he's played a game, right? Has he played a game this year?
I don't. Let's see.
I don't believe so. But Crowder is expected to play. I don't know if he plays a ton, but just worth noting.
He has not played a game.
Unlikely to go.
Yeah. Outside of that, in this game, I have Gabe Vincent under 12.5 points, minus 125 at Betway, under 2.5 rebounds, plus 115 at Betway. We have him projected for 10 points. We have him projected for I have it as a coin flip at 2.5 rebounds, so plus 115 solid line. But yeah, that's kind of all I got in this game.
I bet something last night, like at 3:00 in the morning. Drew Holiday 3-pointers made over. He gets a nice boost, and Miami, they're known for a good defense, but they will give up threes. Opponent 3-point attempts per game, Miami gives up like the 7th or 8th most in the league.
What'd you hit it at?
God, over 2.5. I think I was a slight positive, I want to say. I didn't write it down, but
it's at minus 115. So if you got it positive, then that's pretty solid.
I think projections had him hitting it over as well too, just barely, unless that's changed. But I don't. I gotta organize my bets like you do. You have it in a nice little spreadsheet. Yeah, but I don't have it ready to pull up. Unfortunately,
I am an accountant. I sent you over this exact spreadsheet to keep track of them, and you're just lazy.
No, I'll think. Well, yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. But I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, when you actually move to a legal gambling state, which I shall convince you to, then it'll come in handy keeping track of things so you know. But I mean, as of right now, probably no need to. But we're moving on. Brooklyn, Chicago. I got one bet here. Dinwiddie under 29.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 115 over at Caesars. He's been pretty up and down so far with Brooklyn. They have enough other guys to eat up some usage. I know it's a good matchup going up against Chicago, but to me, 29.5, just a bit too high here.
Yeah, I don't really have a good read in this game. I would just say if you can bet unders on Ben Simmons and the number's not egregiously low, bet unders on Ben Simmons. He's so out of this rotation, basically. He's such an afterthought at this point. Playing 15 minutes or something like that. Are they even out there? How low are the numbers for Ben Simmons? I haven't had a chance to look, but he did play 20 minutes the last game, 12, 16, 19. He doesn't fit this team. I don't know what team he does fit, but it's
honestly what team he would fit is probably something like Cleveland.
Is he better than Arturo at this point?
I mean, he's better defensively.
Okay.
It'd be a mismatch with size, but I don't know what team he would fit.
He doesn't fit the current era of basketball either, which is kind of an issue too. But
maybe Golden State,
Draymond-esque, but I don't know. Draymond will at least he can hit a 3 theoretically. He's not horrendous.
Yeah.
He'll tempt him.
I don't know where he would fit. The Clippers?
The Clippers have so many guys. Like, where would he get minutes? Like, who would he take them from? Like,
Morris?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. By the way, there's a report that Russ is going to start tonight in place of Trey Mann, which Terrence Mann. But yeah, that's interesting. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. But I guess we'll get to that game soon enough. But yeah, Russ making his debut tonight versus Sacramento, expected to draw the starts.
Yeah.
I got nothing else as far as this game. And Pat Bev also expected to play for Chicago for what it's worth, but I think it's worth nothing.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah. Next game, Charlotte, Minnesota. There's one line that's just I love the over. So over at Caesars, Conley's PRA is sitting at 19.5. FanDuel, it's 20.5 with more juice on the over than a 19.5. And at MGM and DraftKings, it's at 21.5. How they haven't moved this line is ridiculous to me. I bet it twice. I got it minus 113. It's at minus 119. I still like it at minus 119. I don't understand what they're doing. Like, it's just a bad line.
Yeah, I mean, Conley, obviously not a big usage guy, but you're also playing the matchup too, and then just the number is too low is the thought process.
Yeah, well, I mean, the number should be at 20 to 21.5, more likely 21.5. I know he's coming off a game before the break where he put up 0 points, and he hasn't really hit this in this offense. I think he hit it once, but like still, it's a bad line. And I mean, the spot going up against Charlotte is great. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand why Caesar still has it at 19.5.
I'm never enthused the prospect of betting on Conley overs in the year 2023, but it's the philosophy of like, look, you're always be willing to bet when the number is too low, always be willing to bet the over. And the reverse is true as well. But yeah, you make it's the same DFS thought process. If a salary is cheap enough, you just have to, if it's the right price, you got to go for it. And I like that call. Like, nobody wants to bet overs in Connolly, especially coming off the over, but whatever. Variance, small sample, yada, yada. Still figuring out as far as this team. But the matchup for Charlotte is beautiful. One of the worst defensive teams in the league, one of the fastest teams in the league. It's a nice combination.
Yeah. So I'm rolling with it. It's my biggest bet today. Outside of that, Kyle Anderson under 11.5 points. Get that win, and I think some other spots. He's been a little bit up and down. We haven't projected for the over. I don't care. You can get minus 110 over at MGM. Go take it there. But yeah, I like the under. And then I'm all over PJ Washington's overs. Over 22.5 points, rebounds, assists. Over 14.5 points. Got that at minus 105 at win. He's hit this in 5 straight games. He's had 20 plus in 4 out of the last 5 games. Not a bad matchup. I'm assuming Gobert will be on Mark Williams. So Washington probably on the outside. Probably gets a few extra threes. Just a bad line.
Oubre is coming back tonight for what it's worth. We're giving him 25 minutes in our projection, so it's not a big hit on Washington. I haven't put a lot of thought in him, to be honest, but sure, I'm okay with that.
Oubre is probably going to eat into more other people's minutes than
Gordon Hayward. We're giving him 30. Whose minutes is he taking? Dennis Smith Jr., I guess, taking a hit. Charlotte's been playing pretty tight as far as their rotations. I was going to bet Gobert over rebounds, but the number was so high. 15.5 was such a huge number. I had to back off it, but Charlotte plays fast. They're not necessarily efficient. I believe they give up the second most rebounds per game to opponents, just behind OKC on the season. Yeah, 54.9 per game. This feels like a game where Gobert can grab 20 boards, but I couldn't justify over 15.5. I stared at it, and I don't think I clicked it, if I remember correctly, but I wanted to.
Well, it's at 14.5 now, so
okay.
We have projected for 12.87.
I don't like that projection.
Yeah, I don't either, but it's still definitely low. Mark Williams under 8.5 rebounds. That already moved. I got minus 108. It's minus 120 now. Moving on. Next game, Houston, Golden State. I got one bet here. Jordan Poole under 35.5 points, rebounds, assists.
Oh boy.
Yeah, always fun betting on Jordan Poole. We project for the over. Line has moved to 37.5, so I might have fudged up.
So no team attempts and makes more 3-pointers per game than the Golden State Warriors. No team allows more attempted and made 3-pointers than the Houston Rockets.
So Clay's line was sitting at 4.5.
Yeah. I bet Poole over 3.5. I bet his alt overs as well. I think I got him up to at least, I think 5 plus threes. Yeah, I like Clay, like it was a little bit more obviously. Like you said, 4.5 was the over under. I did not go for that one, but I'm not going to besmirch it. That's what you want to do. But this is the perfect matchup for both those guys. They're going to be bombing away. I feel pretty good about at least one of them getting there, right?
Yeah.
If you want to just bet them both, and hopefully maybe you split it, maybe you hit the alts on both as well. And maybe one hit 6 or 7, the other one's a 2 or 3, and you still crush.
Maybe the game turns into a massive blowout, and neither of them hit.
Well, how does the game blow out? Golden State hitting a bunch of threes.
It could be DiVincenzo. Could be anyone.
I suppose. Do you have thoughts on that? I actually
I don't hate it. Let's see what
Poole.
RG Projections has him at.
Projections like the Poole over as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, over 3.5. I think it was projected for right around 4, unless it's changed.
Yeah, Thompson's projected for 5 right now. Just silly high line, but probably right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably staying away. I'm not happy with my Poole bet right now. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not happy with it either because I bet I put a lot of American dollars on Poole last night. So, yeah, I mean, I don't care about his rebounds and assists, but I want those points from I'm banking on the Poole party, man. The Poole party's going down tonight.
Well, you know who's really going to have a party tonight in the next game? Suns versus OKC. I bet one alt. Who do you think it is?
I don't know. Let's see. I haven't. It's the back half of back-to-back, and it's travel for OKC. I was a little bit surprised.
It's on Phoenix.
Yeah. So my guess is DeAndre Ayton.
Nope.
Yeah. Are you going to bet him? Is it Booker?
Nope.
Okay. So am I not going to get there?
You'll get there.
I don't think it's Chris Paul.
Nope.
I think it's Okogie.
It is Okogie.
He's been on fire of late. I don't know what this guy's been doing, but he's been spectacular.
He's playing a boatload of minutes. 41, 39, 35, 32 in the last 4 games. I think that continues. 24, 19, 17, and 25 points. I have his over 14.5 points plus 115 at Betfred. His over 17.5 points plus 260 at Betfred. His over 19.5 points plus 450 at Betfred. All of those have a decent chance. I mean, he's hit 2 out of 3 of those in 2 out of the last 4 games. He's hit all 3 of those in 2 out of the last 4 games. I know he's been hot from behind the arc.
Yeah.
But he had 12 shot attempts from behind the arc in the last game. Like, they're going to dish it to him out on the edge. Like, Dort, I assume, is going to be on Booker. Like, Okogie is going to probably put up 15-plus shot attempts. If he gets hot, all of them hit. If he's just normal, 2 out of 3 should hit. I just love it.
He's just open, too, because you're concentrating on Booker. You're concentrating on Paul, Ayton to some degree. But
they might have double Ayton.
You're going to give up some open Okogie threes. Like, he's getting open shots. When I've watched Houston, when I've watched Phoenix recently, that's what I've seen. He's the ones he's making, like, they're just like wide open shots because you can't lock everything down and you pick your poison. And Okogie's not the first guy you're concerned about, obviously.
Yep, exactly. I just read something interesting on Twitter.
Is it worth sharing?
I don't know that Jamal Williams got kicked out of BYU for a year because of sex.
I did see that. Yeah, that's one of those. Somehow I missed that story, but that's frowned upon, I believe, in BYU. Yeah. How did they find out?
I don't know. Someone told on him.
Who would have guessed, by the way, with his touchdown celebrations, that he's the guy? Like, if there was a draft, if you were to say, listen, knowing nothing else, even know who went to BYU, some NFL player was kicked out of college for having too much sex or having sex in general, right? Like, isn't Jamal Williams is like the 1-1, right? He's a first round pick.
And he's not Mormon, apparently.
I don't think that's a requirement to play for BYU.
No, it's not. It's just
yeah.
I mean, apparently, he just didn't have other offers.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is he from Utah?
No, I
feel
don't
like it's
so.
a tough school to, get people to come to your state.
I mean, going to play football is.
Yeah, but if I'm like a 3 or 4 star in like Georgia or whatever, I'm thinking about the SEC. I'm not thinking about.
I don't think he had many offers.
Okay, that could be it.
Yeah. Last bet I have SGA over 4.5 rebounds at Maverick. Bet Maverick. Have you ever heard of that? Play Maverick.
Bet Maverick. Is this Top Gun inspired?
No idea. I think Maverick's a casino out here. I don't know.
You got every option there. I know. I don't know what Bet Maverick is.
Oh, I just signed up for it yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Jamal Williams from California.
Yeah. I got nothing in the Clippers game. If I was going to bet anything, it'd probably be Westbrook's under points. I think it's sitting at 15.5.
Yeah, did it jump up when the news came out that he was starting? Because I didn't see.
I assume it wasn't on the board before the news said that he was starting.
Yeah.
But
we were talking about this. I feel like we were talking about this the other day. And it's like, if he can get 15 minutes or so and understand his role and yada yada. But I guess that's not what's happening here.
No, I think he should get 30 minutes. I think that he should not shoot a single shot from behind the arc.
Well,
have multiple guys like Morris, George that can make a 3-pointer. Kawhi, like he should dominate ball handling, drive to the hoop, and dish it out. He's always been meant like the perfect role for him was over in Houston. Like one other guy that can create his own shots, and then you have Westbrook, and then you have 3 guys that don't clog up the middle. They're just on the outside. They're 3-and-D guys. You have Covington, you have PJ Tucker. Like it was a perfect situation for him because all he had to do was drive to the rim over and over and over again and not shoot from the outside because he's an awful shooter. Like we all know that at this point in his career. I don't know what happened, but he's an awful shooter. You now have Paul George, one of the better 3-point shooters in the league. Kawhi, a great 3-point shooter. Morris, a great 3-point shooter. And then Plumlee, who just does plum dog stuff, and Zubac.
Yeah,
like, it's a great situation for him because he can still drive the hoop great. He can still dish it out great. He's still a great rebounder. So this is kind of a perfect spot if he just knows his role, which is you just don't shoot. Just don't shoot mid-range jumpers. Just don't shoot 3-pointers. Drive to the hoop over and over again and either take the shot or dish it out.
Do you think he consistently closes, or it's going to be like a rotation, game dependent? Like, is it going to be Norman Powell closing? Maybe Mann gets a close on occasion. Maybe Gordon gets a close on occasion.
I think it depends.
Yeah.
I think if they're up, I don't think he closes. If they're down,
yeah,
then I think you throw in Mann, a better defensive guy. But I mean, the problem is he's a massive liability at the free throw line.
Yeah. What is he these days as far as
65%?
That's not very good.
No, I mean, but honestly, like a change of scenery might help him out. And even though he's playing on the same exact court, but
that was my theory, by the way. The reason why I picked the Clippers is because he didn't have to move. Like, who wants to move? Moving's not fun.
Yeah, well, also he has a decent shot at the championship.
Well, who else was in contention? So, but was Miami one of the teams, or the Chicago? Like, what? No point in that because they're going nowhere. Unless you just want to live in Chicago for a month or two. Was there who's the other teams that were in contention allegedly?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of who. This is literally the perfect fit. 76ers might have been an all right fit. Nets would have been a good fit.
Is like
Nick's probably
Maxey
not.
not better than him right now? I don't know.
I mean, they could run Maxey at the 2, Harden at the 3.
Melton.
Um,
Yeah, yes, but he just sort of is what he is, right? This is what he is. I don't know if he's changing. We'll see. I mean, I
yeah,
will say
who
it's
knows?
always he still, the speed that this guy's had well into his career for a dude that's had multiple leg surgeries is still super impressive.
Yeah,
Like his quickness and his the way he's been able to do that for as long as he has. Obviously, he's fallen off a little bit.
SGA is listed questionable on Friday.
I was gonna bet Phoenix. I thought that was dicey. I was staring at that one last night.
Phoenix is sitting at 6.5. You think that's going to move?
Yeah, I think. I mean, if I'm going to try to get it up in time, but it's not going to. What's the slowest book?
Bet decline.
Yeah.
Oh, and they have officially cut me off over at Sports Illustrated. They will let me get down $200 on a spread bet. Well, it's fun while it lasted.
I'm trying to get it. Where's OKC? I'm not scrolling fast enough. You have like a minute, not even, right? Like 30 seconds. It's over.
I mean, it's probably all gone. Win bet is generally pretty slow. Let's see.
Yeah.
They're probably gone. I'd assume everywhere's gone.
Yeah.
That's 7.5.
Going to speculate that. What a bummer. That stinks.
I still like it at 7.5. Oh, no.
Phoenix? Yeah, it's 7.5. I would hammer that. Yeah.
Minus 125 now. Yeah, it's moved.
But the downgrade, there's not one. You take one player off a team, you try to think of those players. A Joker, the guys that really move the needle, right? There's some guys that can score points that don't really move the needle, but you take Shy off his team, it's a big difference. Like he's, I don't know, top 5, top 10 needle mover.
Yeah.
If you take a player off a team.
Yeah.
As far as the spread, I goofed in that one. I was staring at that one earlier today. I was staring at it last night, and I was just like, And
I guess it's only going to move to 8.5.
I think if he's out, it's going to go beyond that.
Yeah.
If it's 8.5 somewhere, I would hit it. But then if Shy plays, then you're on the wrong side of it.
Yeah.
No, but what did they give him a body part? What did they give him? What did they say?
I don't know. I'm checking. Yeah, Betfred has it at 7.5.
They gave him an ankle. So that game went overtime last night too. So
yeah,
he played extended minutes versus Utah. Back half of back to back. Utah not in, traditionally Utah Denver is like that tough back to back, but Utah to Phoenix, it seems like a tough spot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about hitting it at Betfred.
If you can get it 8.5, I think that's a good bet.
I got it. It's at 7.5. I don't know if that's a great line.
8. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit it.
7.5. That's gonna move to 10 if he's out.
It's minus 115.
Is it anywhere that I can legally wager on? I don't have Betfred here.
It's WinBet. I don't know if you've signed up for that. Superbook has it at 7.5. Oh, gosh, I should have bet it at Superbook. Yeah. Oh well. MGM has it at 6.5. Is that still up?
They wouldn't give him this body part and then still you don't drop this midday downgrades as a general rule, right? It's like you don't do this and then he plays. It happens, I suppose, but it's unlikely. My assumption is he sits.
I'm checking. MGM might still have it up. MGM has it at 7.5 minus 110.
Okay, that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
We are going to hit it live. We're doing it live. We're trying to.
Yeah, I just threw a G down.
I will throw down.
Let's see. What was it? What did I bet? Suns minus 7.5. I'm betting a lot of.
I threw down 900. I don't know why I put 900.
Yeah, do 1,000.
I don't. But that's what we're doing.
Yeah, no, I got the Kings -6.5 last night. Unfortunately, I liked the Suns +11, so I ended up throwing some money down on it. Not as much. So I only made like $700.
That was an awesome job by you. You told me you got that, and like they ruled those guys out on like the tarmac because
No, as soon as the whatever came out, the news that like they were about to leave, looks like they're gonna play. I'm like, all right, I'm hitting this.
Well, the news did, yeah, it said like the plane's leaving, and then at some point during the flight, Dame just said, "Nah, I'm good." And like I don't know if they're protesting that the idea that they had to play this game because they cut it pretty close. They showed up 3 hours before the game started, something like that. Just kind of obviously rest is embarrassing. Let's be honest. Like, rest from what? You've rested. I know Dame was an all-star, but Jeremy Grant had the concussion, but they called it rest, which is kind of
I spent like 7 hours on the tarmac last night, and then a 2-hour drive back home for some people, and then
it was a miserable experience. Sure, they're also not crammed like in coach with a bunch of schmucks like us.
Yeah, Dame was up all night creating a rap song on the plane.
Oh, is that? I did see that clip. Is that what that's from?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I know Dame's he likes the rap. The reference to. Who was he talking about? Drew, right? He's like Drew, like sending him a pick or something like that. That's what I heard. The one little line, but I guess he's resting his vocal cords and like whatever, man. I'm not the guy yelling at the clouds as far as all the rest. I get it. Like the regular season doesn't really matter. It's been a secret, like an open secret for a while now, and teams Popovich figured it out not that long ago.
I mean, it's changed a little bit with the playing games.
Yeah, I guess, but has it?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. They're also talking about like a mid-season tournament. I'm sure you've heard that thrown out there, and I'm not sure how that's going to work. But I don't know what the solution is because they're not going to play less games because money. That they're not going to all of a sudden play 55 games, which would be like from like a watchability perspective, right? Like.
Just get rid of back-to-backs.
Well, then the season's going to be distinctly longer, and I don't think they can do that.
Not really. 2 in 1 day's rest. I mean, put it down to 60 games. Get rid of back-to-backs.
You can't. What, you're going to cut everybody's salary by 25%?
Yeah, just make the season go all year long.
Like they have TV contracts. Like that's just they're not going to take money off.
Oh yeah, they're not going to. But I'm saying that would make.
Yeah. Oh no, you're right. Yeah, of course. From an ideal like a utopia perspective, there's not an 82 game season. Like there just isn't.
Yep. Yeah. But that's it. We went off the rails. Anything before we get on out of here?
I don't think so. Join me, Rotogrinders, rotogrinders.com. Grinders Live today at 5:00. We'll be doing obviously it's a sports gambling. We'll be talking about daily fantasy sports. You remember that, right, Grant? DFS.
I do. I've been known to dabble in it a little bit. During football season.
You've smashed there for sure. But yeah,
football is the only one that's worth it because I can still crank out $20,000 over the course of the season, just working a few hours, like 5-6 hours on Sunday morning.
Time delegation, basketball is probably the trickiest one to do, and
basketball is by far the worst. Baseball I'll still play.
You can do baseball. Yeah,
I already know everything. Things don't change. I don't need to be by my computer unless the game's going to be rained out. Like all I have to do, I already have done all my research at 4:30 my time, which is a half hour before lock. All I have to do is hop on crunch time, get the weather from Roth, and I can make 30 lineups that are going to be profitable.
There are baseball games being played right now.
Is it spring training already?
Yeah. I've been drafting best balls. I've drafted multiple best balls. I'm getting excited for the season. I think we're about 30-ish days away, maybe 35.
Probably 35.
Are you still in? You're back in Colorado then? I was gonna say if you're in Phoenix, Arizona, obviously, the Cactus League, lots of spring training out there, but unfortunately, you cannot partake.
Yeah,
you're in Florida, so I used to go to a lot of spring training games.
Yeah,
Fun times.
That's it. That's the show. We're out of
Yeah.
here. Like it.